Or we're cutting across to live visuals coming in from France. Prime Minister landed in France earlier, and we are tracking all the developments as they're coming in. Prime Minister Modi arrived in Nice, France. That was last night on the first leg of his two-nation visit to France and Slovakia. During his stay in France, he will join French President Emmanuel Macron, and he will be jointly inaugurating Bharat Innovates and hold bilateral talks with Macron on key areas of cooperation and global issues ahead of the upcoming G7 summit. It's a 6-day visit overall, and we have been tracking the latest as it's coming in. There is also a scheduled meeting between the Indian Prime Minister and the US President. That's scheduled for a little later in the week. That's going to happen on the sidelines of the G7 summit. And Prime Minister Modi will be inaugurating Bharat Innovates. French President Emmanuel Macron is also present at the inauguration. All right, to get us the latest, we're now being joined by Himanshu Dikshit. He's joining us from Nice. Himanshu, give us the latest. It's definitely another testament to growing India-France ties. Now, Bharat Innovates is set to be the next big feather in the cap. Give us more.
Absolutely. Right now, I'm in Nice, which is a city in the south of France. The conclave, which is the Bharat Innovates, is happening at a place called Palais d'Exposition. You can see right behind me, this whole entire area right now is barricaded because of security for Modi and for Macron, because the entire entourage of Modi and Macron had arrived a few minutes ago. Of course, this is an absolute seismic change in the bilateral relationship between India and France. Bharat Innovates, basically this stems from a global relationship that India and France had strategic partnership they had signed earlier this year in February in Mumbai. And Bharat Innovates it's actually bringing that into reality. It's not just a normal conclave. There are approximately 120 deep tech Indian startups which have been handpicked by the Indian Ministry of Education. There are 15 Indian universities which are also here, and they will be pitching their ideas to French CEOs, to European venture capitalists. So if you have to put it together, it's basically a marriage between the Indian startup deep techs with the European VCs and CEOs. So this indeed is a monumental day for the Indo-French relationship. If I want to bring also about the trade between India and France, Indian-France trade relationship over decades have been regarding defense, regarding nuclear energy. But this now changes to research and development, to tech alliances. So this is a pivot to the relationship that India and France basically before had for the last few decades.
Himanshu, now you pointed that out correctly. Till now, we had largely heard about the tie-ups in the defense sector. Of course, the Rafales, the upcoming Rafale Marines, which are going to be delivered to India soon. And then there is another deal in the offing. We'll wait for the final confirmations on those. But this event showcases how the startup sector, there are 120 startups presenting innovations to global investors and technology leaders here at the Bharat Innovate event. If you can give us more on that.
Yeah, so these 120 deep tech startups, basically, as I said, they have been handpicked. And so they have actually, if you look at the data, they have already collected globally, all of them together have collected over $1.5 billion globally. So which means they're already quite established. And New Delhi right now is looking Nice as a way to enter the entire European market. So this actually is the entry point right now, where we'll be looking that India no longer is just a global tech consumer, but is also looked upon as a global tech provider and creator.
Himanshu, I see it's a nice, pleasant day behind you. If you can show us exactly where the cavalcade would be coming from. I see the barricading that you told us or showed us briefly. If anything more you can share about where you are currently and what's happening.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I will take the camera myself and I will just show you.
Yeah.
So basically, if you look, this is basically the entire barricade. This is the city of Nice that you can just see behind me. There's also some French media in front of me that you can see. So this is basically the Palais d'Exposition. It's just a building which is just across. You can see a lot of French security over there. So these all barricades will go away after, let's say, in 2 hours, because the event will be over. And the road in front of me, that's where the barricades of the whole entourage of Prime Minister Modi and Emmanuel Macron had arrived. It's just standing in front of me. I'm sure they have entered the event and they have already begun, because the scheduled event was 10 a.m. to 1, and right now The local time is 10:30. And so after this inauguration is over, then we expect this whole barricade to be over. At 2 p.m. local time, France time, is when the conclave will become the panel discussions will happen, and so on and so forth, and the networking take place. And of course, this is a huge event for the Indo-French relationship. Bharat Innovates. It stemmed from the Indo-French Year of Innovation, which was designated for 2026, and that Indo-French Year of Innovation is now coming into reality as we are here right now in Nice. And Prime Minister Modi will not just be in Nice. After this, he will, as you spoke correctly, he will be in Slovakia. Then also he's going to be in G7 in Evian-les-Bains, which is a city next to the Swiss border in France. And after that, he will come back to Paris for the largest tech startup conclave, which is called Viva Tech in Paris. And he will also be addressing the Indian diaspora in Paris.
Himanshu, thanks for showing us around. Let's have you back in the frame. As we are showing our audiences the visuals that have been coming in. As you mentioned, it's been about a half hour since the event started. 10 a.m. local time is when it's scheduled to start. Give us more about the scheduled bilateral meet between Modi and Macron, which is scheduled post the event.
So, as we spoke before, so right now, they were both the ministers, the Prime Minister and President Macron were supposed to arrive here at 10. They arrived here at 10:30, 20 local time approximately, because we could not locate in which car, of course, the Prime Minister and President Macron was. After this, when they go inside, then inside you have all the deep tech startups, you have the French CEOs, but they also always, they will have a bilateral meeting with the leading tech CEOs from India. And after that bilateral meeting, they come to the stage and then they speak and then they address and officially inaugurate the Bharat Innovates. And after that, of course, Prime Minister Modi is not going to stay in Nice today. From here, he goes straight to Slovakia to the knowledge that I have currently.
Himanshu, thanks so much for getting us the latest on that. There will be more to discuss as the details start coming in. There will be a bilateral meeting. There will be details on that to discuss as well. That was Himanshu Dikshit getting us the latest as he's deployed and reporting live from Nice, right next to the location and the venue. Himanshu, thanks so much for getting us the latest.